right. Point 0.7 on the NASDAQ this morning. Past couple of days, we've seen some selling pressure. Yesterday, you can see it right there on the Amazon chart. Stretches. Let's do stretches. Market's going to open about 30 seconds. I always think I have more time than I do because it's early. Early for me. Early for you. Early for stocks. Early for shoe. All right, 0.7. Let's see where this takes us. Jerome Powell speaks today. Chairman of the Federal Reserve. Looks like he speaks at 9 o'clock my time, which is in 2.5 hours. So, is it a gap and crap day? Hey, what's up, Mohammed? All right. Apple and Net both on my best wanted list. Well, that's the plan, Mohammed. I almost got to type this in. I'm moving too fast today. Oh, the after hours chart kind of points down a little bit, but the market cycle is still up. So I'm not trying to get out. I'm trying to stay in. I'm gonna be working hard at trying to stay in, even though it may be a little wee bit painful. All right, Apple starts off the day with a red candle. Amazon yesterday had a lot of red candles. It's raining this morning in Phoenix. Kind of nice to see. Oh, you know what that's going to lead to is Holmberg today is going to do Brady's rainy day recipes. That's funny. All right, Apple's still up 17178. 1/8. Oh, trying to get it. Still can't get it. Apple up. All right, come on, Apple. You can do it. At least I think. I sold out of my Microsoft trade yesterday. It's up a little bit more, not much, but it expired. It expires this Friday, and I'm like, wow, this is up a lot. I should probably take some profit on this. Looks like Tesla not doing anything. Not going up nor down. Got to be a little bit patient with this guy, too. All right, 2%. Soxel's up today, 4.15%. All right. So Soxel's up a good amount, but the TQs would be up almost 3% also. So, but TQs have outperformed Soxel this year, probably by a significant margin. Oh, maybe not. 43%. Actually, Soxel may have outperformed the TQs. It just doesn't look like it. PLL. 50-day support. Last time it didn't hold it. We broke it again. Also low volume right now, so not too bad there. Not much right home, about 2.2 for Apple. Nets joining us in the 2% club. Trade Desk 1.5% club. Tesla trying to rally back through. Let's hope that works out. Amazon stagnant. Microsoft lagging, at least today. For whatever lagging's worth with Microsoft. Microsoft is up substantially this year. It's up 28, almost 30% for Microsoft. Pretty good. All right, what's not working today? Remax down 1%. Okay. Not too mad. And the VIX is down today. Peloton. Testing trend lines. Look for 50-day support coming up. Could be buyable on the 50-day. AMC. Ooh, Doyu still lower. Tiger lower. Workhorse. Amarin. E. That just needs to get off my list. Ah. My street's starting to flood. That could be interesting. All the water in my neighborhood rolls down to one house south of mine and goes down a wash that's next to the school behind the house next to mine. It ends up in a golf. I think it ends up in a golf course. I should figure out where that ends up. Maybe it goes into a storm drain. Wonder what they do with that water. We're having a bad water crisis in Arizona. So every drop counts. I was thinking Elon Musk should take his boring company and actually someone else kind of thought of this too. The Arizona state legislator asked for ideas of how to get water from overflow water from the Mississippi. Here's Tesla selling off. Overflow water from the Mississippi over to Mead River and Hoover Dam. And I'm like, hey, looks like Boring Company be perfect for that. Be the biggest contract in their history by a long shot. Give them $1 billion. They'll probably build that tunnel for $250 million. All right, 2% for Apple. Let's see if we're going to hold up. We're not holding up in the indexes, at least we're not going higher. You can't ask more than 0.7 out of an index in a day. So I'm not shocked if the indexes don't do anything. Now, again, Powell's speaking today, so that could take the sale out of pretty much anything. And that is the risk here today. But at the same time, I don't know what he's going to... Didn't he just say something like a week ago? You know, I'm going to Google it. It's like Google Bitcoin trying to rebound. Let's Google Powell comments. Powell says Fed is still a ways from altering policy, expects inflation to moderate, which is counter to what everybody else is saying. Did he already speak? No way. Inflation has increased notably due to temporary factors. It's not 12 p.m. on the East Coast. When did he say this? July 14th. That's today. Stock to behind. Powell says Fed will not Yet, well, that's weird. Okay. Well, if we already have Fed comments, okay, now we're just looking to see if we're going to dump. Okay. Maybe that's something then. All right. Well, Apple's selling off a little bit. It's off this list. Soxel selling off a little bit. 0.59 for the NASDAQ. Looks like Net took over Apple. Net's still in this consolidation range. Nothing too crazy. Come on, Apple. A bunch of wicks down. I don't know if that's normal for Apple. I wouldn't think it is. Nothing of that proportion. Mm. Still working its way higher. Still has pretty good volume overall. Some of those are sell days though, like yesterday. If I go dark all of a sudden, it's because power went out. We got storms. All right, Net, Trade Desk. Trade Desk, nice and tight. Hold it, Trade Desk, hold it. All right, Atlassian, Boeing, Pi, ZPN. There's Amazon and Tesla going to the flatsy zone. Amazon's day yesterday wasn't super hot. Today also not looking super hot. Five minutes left in this 15-minute candle. Not a lot of volume compared to yesterday. In theory, could go up by a third, which should put us there. Interesting. All right, Microsoft's back down to flat. Amazon must have flipped negative. No, is it positive? Oh, it went up a little bit. That's good. Trade Desk, Team are lower. Net's lower. I'm sure Apple's lower too. 172, not that bad. Not that bad. Okay. I can't be mad so far. Let's look outside this window, see what's going on. A lot of noise, not a whole lot of action. Starting to pull up by that wash down there. Not a lot of rain though. I'd say I'm lucky if I got a quarter inch, maybe just an eighth of an inch. Checking out my pool this morning. But I don't know exactly where it was last night. Hard to tell. Okay, any other macro changes here? Soxel, Moderna. Ooh, that's almost new highs for Moderna. Suki Suki now. That looks great. Hold that one. QFin, Save, Urban Outfitters. Upwork. Yesterday, Upwork started going after I left. At least I think it was after I left. Maybe it was already up. I don't know, but it wasn't broken out. We talked about a cup and handle. Mentioned it was maybe a handle. Actually, now we talked about double bottom. Got a pullback right there, and then yesterday with a great pocket pivot on Upwork. Hey, what's up, Ellie? So good work here for Upwork. I mean, excellent, excellent work. Yeah, it's a little before the end of the day. It's like midday. I actually posted it in stocks when I noticed it. I think it was after my lunch, so I guess it was whatever. Some part of the day. Doesn't matter when. But yeah, no, it did have a reversal. Amazon suffered the brunt of it. Amazon still hasn't really recovered. But if you look at the daily time frame, not a major issue, so giving it the benefit of the doubt. Nasdaq still up, and I'm really really trying to be optimistic with everything. So far that's proven to be working. So, what's going on with Tesla? Man, that's a tough one. It's not they're not accumulating it right now, so it's just flopping around like a fish, unfortunately. We have these bursts of buying pressure, but they're a little fewer and a little farther between than you'd like to see. Still not a lot of selling pressure, but you're not seeing any buying pressure. And that's a bit of a concern. Stalled again at 700 yesterday. So, at this point it may just be meandering lower. The question is to where. That's the question. Never seen what before, Ellie? I mean, this is fairly common actually in a lot of. Uh, I think the general massive rise, decline under a trend line. I think that part's. Yeah, I think it's pretty normal. You actually see it quite often. It looks a little bit like some of those garbage stocks, to be honest with you. Not really garbage stocks, but stocks that aren't moving right now. They're not. Doesn't mean they're garbage because they're not moving, but you'll often see this support line. Oh, this is pretty classical. Not like two or three candles here or pop up and drop up and pop up. Not that, but this whole thing where you come down to a triangle and then you go low volume and then you just kind of float sideways for an undetermined period of time. That's really really normal. You'll see that everywhere, like on almost every stock. 700 cover calls 716. Yeah, well you should have sold when it didn't break 716 or 700 yesterday. I had some 716 calls I had to ditch because they weren't going in my direction. When you're that short on those types of options, killer, you've got to be brutal with getting rid of those options quick because they will evaporate extraordinarily fast. So just call that one a lesson learned. If you're gonna play weekly options like that, ooh, you got to be. I did a couple of those. I got lucky on Microsoft. That was like a 3 week option, and then I got hit on two other ones. Um, Not too bad, but you just gotta be principled with it, I guess, is the key. Yeah, I talked about that last 2 weeks. Yeah, well, it's so all I'm saying is that this whole general setup is pretty classical. Well, I'm hoping with Tesla, ideally we can rally up from it sooner rather than later. We're still not falling apart. The question is, if we're not going to elevate off the 50-day, how many times are we going to bounce off it? Two, four, eight? How many times is this going to be of a concern to us? That's the question. Now, if you're just holding stock, it's not an issue at all. Tesla's not falling apart here. It's not like we're in that situation. It's just not rallying substantially. It's just not rallying substantially. So we're just a little bit. It is what it is. Not focus on losers. All right, fair enough. Yeah, Apple is leading right now. I'm surprised it's holding up as good as it is. As a matter of fact, Amazon, since that sell-off yesterday, this morning got a little bit. I guess it didn't even get a little bit froggy. It actually sold off immediately. Um, so it's kind of funny. And thought about this, but we saw early leadership with Nvidia. Now Nvidia is in some form of a consolidation, and then at some point we saw Facebook and Microsoft kind of almost moved all year. I think it's hard to, they kind of rolled in and out, but they've loosely been in the game the entire time. Nvidia started with its massive trend, and then Amazon recently, and then Apple started last. And Apple is now rolling over a little bit more. Maybe news on Apple, maybe not. There's always news, but Nike loses fight probing a Dutch tax deal. Oh, it was a JP Morgan price target update. Okay. So target raise could be very short lived. Apple reportedly asked suppliers to boost new iPhone production this year by 20%. Wow. Offering buy now, pay later, rivaling Affirm. They're going to finance their own stuff. Hey, man, it's cheapest financing you can get. They got so much money. Makes sense. Affirm swoons on report that Apple's mounting challenge buy now, pay later. Is Affirm public? Affirm Holdings, is that what that is? Apple Goldman partnership. Okay, and not looking good for them. Qualcomm. Uh, Soxel's up here on the top of our global watch list today. Maybe likely due to Qualcomm. Yeah, Qualcomm is. Yeah, didn't we talk about this recently? That's breaking out today. There's a little cup and handle right there. I don't know if it's going to do a 20% move, but that is a little cup and handle. I doubt it has earnings growth as robust. Oh, that's a dividend. 217, 1.9. So it's not a big earnings mover, but it is potentially in a buyable situation. It is on the sleepy side, but it looks like it's getting out of the bottom of a base supported by moving averages here. Hey, what up, Blair? Yeah, sorry, I saw that you typed in after I shut the stream down. This is too early. I had to go do some stuff for a few minutes, and I let some streams go too long with nothing, so I just decided to end it. Didn't notice you were there. Yeah, Starbucks look good. I was thinking about that Starbucks position a few days ago, and wish I would have done it. I'm pretty focused in tech at the moment. Trade Desk, Apple, Amazon, Tesla. I was thinking Starbucks would be a nice little move into another sector. A little disappointed I didn't do that. Yeah, I think this is a good trade. It's already extended. I don't think you can do much with it right now. Up there a little too much. A little too much to do nothing. Stocks are coming down a little bit. It's looking really froggy early on, but the market kind of gapped up. I'm not sure how much more we're going to get out of it. Yeah, Moderna also looks really good. We already saw that one. It's almost a new high. Ooh, now it is a new high. So Moderna looking good. Yeah, I don't diversify a lot, Mohammed, because I don't. You really don't need to. But at the end of the day, I was just thinking, um, it'd be nice to have at least one position outside of a tech sector. But Amazon, Tesla, these all do behave differently, and they've all been performing differently on a from a risk reward perspective. So there's diversification in a little bit of their place in the leadership category. But other than that, I don't need to be diversified. I could, I don't mind being mostly in one position. I'm not quite there to be all in one position. That seems a little foolhardy still. But hey, maybe when Tesla starts giving us signals again, maybe I'll jump in. All in Tesla calls. 150% in 2 weeks. The whole account. Boom. I should have done that in 2020 on about three different occasions, but you know, risk management and all that. It's like, fine, I guess I won't throw everything in one basket. Moderna looks good though. This one looks excellent. I did have a Moderna trade. I bailed on it though. It was just stock. I didn't like the options, so I never did an option. But rocking for it today. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go one position. Yeah, I've shoulda, woulda, coulda. Um, I'm not really mad at that. Just hindsight and you just there's these really, really, really good trades that you eyeball. Although that it's really funny because the IBD way of doing things, when I was reading that book about how I made 1,000% in 1999, he talked about he was focused into two stocks, and it's basically with add-on buy points. So what happens is the stock would go up and it would come back to the 50-day line or the 10-day line, whatever the supportive line was, and he would add to it, and then he would start adding margin as it kept working. But with options, like, I'm already margined to the hilt from the drop, so I don't really need to add on. I've actually found that if I add on, I'm probably adding more risk because my additional positions aren't going to yield me exemplary returns, at least not when it comes to my target. So let's say for Moderna, looks like I had a target at one point here of where we're at now, 250. If it would have had a secondary buy point down here, let's say I took the trade. Let's say I took the trade right here. Took the trade right there. It went up and it came back down. In this particular case, I probably would have been good adding on the secondary buy point on the pullback to the 20-day. That's probably not a good example. But let's say I was up a little bit more and then it pulled back. Let's say I was up 100, 150%, and then it pulled back like 10%, and then I added on there. That option, when it gets to its target, I may be only up about 40, 50%, where this one I'll be up 150%. And I won't take a trade where my option's only going to give me 40 or 50% return. So that second trade, I don't know, I almost can't, I don't feel like it's a good idea to add to it. I feel like it's a better idea to take another trade. So that also keeps me a little bit more diversified. Is that if I don't have 100 or 200% potential profit on the table, I don't want to take the trade because it's just too much risk. Now, I could modify that rule and say 60 or 80% or something. In some situations, I'll take an 80% profit trade, but for the most part, oh, Trade Desk is bouncing. Trade Desk is running. Is it going to break out? Oh no, it's still within range. Trade Desk is looking really nice. Look at that chart. Speaking of leaders, Ellie, look at Trade Desk. Bam. That is nice. So that Trade Desk chart is pretty dope. I do like that. I already have a position in Trade Desk, so maybe could add to it. I'm not up that much. Let's check it out. 30%. I'm up 30%. Target's 210%, so maybe worth it. $70 strike. I'm pretty deep in the money. It's 100% now. It's eroded away a little bit. So, I mean, that's still not too bad. And my target on that one's 97, which is basically back to the high. I've got this thing until October. So, oh yeah, there's my line right there. There's my line right there over to 97. If we stay in this accelerated trend, I'll get there firmly before, and ideally should be up more than 200, but we'll see about that. Good formation on Trade Desk so far. I got no issues with this. Thought that was a pretty good setup. All right, NASDAQ 0.67 holding up pretty well. Apple has been able to keep its 2% for the most part. Soxel backing away a little bit, 3.8. GLBE, oh, that consolidation is over with already? Jeez. I guess if you want it, jump on board. I don't know what else to say. We're already back up, being supported by the 20-day. It looks like it. Yep, support of the 20-day. 10-day, 20-day kiss, and it's still going. So if you're looking, it's a pretty nice one right there. Tesla's still not doing anything. Moderna, top of the list. Trade Desk backing off. Team, Net still alive. Microsoft, Amazon. Okay, we're not selling off. Don't know what else you can ask for. Don't know what else you can ask for. What else we got? Snap. Nope, that's Monster. That's not Snap. They're too fast for me today. Snapchat, not looking bad. 50-day is loosely supporting it in the what could be the tail end of a consolidation, a base. What else we got? Oh, buddy AMD. Haven't seen you for a minute. It's like AMD forming another. AMD just undercut a prior base. That is AMD in now a first stage, trying to form a first stage base. So AMD has no bases right now. It's undercut everything. And per IBD rules, that makes this, whatever is coming up, the first leg, and then the subsequent base, the first base. So AMD has reset its stock chart. You would assume that AMD is not a bad business. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. We looked at AMD the other day. I didn't notice that. 0.7 for the NASDAQ. So still popping back up. So far, so good this morning. Yeah, can't be mad. Well, Ellie can be mad, but okay. All right, tested down. REMAX was down. Looks like it popped up a little bit. looking good overall. Look at the volume action yesterday. Nicely in trend, nice consolidation. Hopefully we'll move back up in a little bit. All right, Carvana on the downside. Let's see what's down today. AMC. All right. Geez, that'd have been a nice short. Remember the day when like, oh, it's gonna make a decision. That'd have been a good day to short it. You could have even done a spread or something, some kind of options play on that probably would have worked out well. You could have done one that made you a bunch of money if it broke the 55 to 60 range in either direction, and then just use that trade. Like, yeah, this isn't going to stay up here for very long. It's going to go in one direction or another. And bi-directional trade. I forget the exact term for that, but could have done one of those and you would have worked out. Looked at Peloton earlier, trying to find support at that trend line. 50-day moving average is just under that, so the trend line may not be as important. Roblox. All right, continuing with basing behavior. Not something too bad. NIO. All right, NIO's jumpy. I caught it. Yeah, no, I agree it's not looking super anything. I'm just saying it reset its base count. So in the IBD school of thought, you can count the number of bases it has until it resets its base count, essentially. And buying out of a first stage base and buying out of a second stage base is better than buying out of a third stage base or a fourth stage base. The thesis being that stock runs don't continue forever. So if you notice, I mean, we all agree AMD is a good company for several reasons, and its earnings are pretty good. So when you notice it reset its base count, you're looking at potentially at some point the next run. So if you keep your mind open to that with that perspective, you may be able to get a beat on it. Because if it's going to go to, if you look at AMD, you're like, okay, this thing is going to, you say, okay, this thing reset its base count. Let's say you subscribe to that. Maybe you don't, but maybe you do. You're like, okay, this thing reset its base count. Well, let's look at the last two bases that it had. Okay, so there's one base. There's another big base. Not that it's going to do the exact same thing. There's an undercut. There's an undercut. I don't want to get super technical with AMD. Spend all day on it or nothing. Let's go to the weekly real quick. Let's see. So there's an undercut. That's a base recount. I don't think that's an undercut. 2, 3. So that's just a big ass base. So there's a base right there. There's a base right there. Okay. So one base, two bases right there. So when you undercut, yeah, I think you're still way down here. So that's resetting your base count, which is what AMD just did, right? AMD's in a consolidation undercut, resets the base count. That makes your base count 0, because before that, you're in a downtrend, cup and handle, or whatever that is. Not going to get too technical. And then boom, one base, two base resets to 0. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's arguably a flat base. We'll count it. Base 1. So arguably we're like right here. So that's base 1. Rallies up, comes down. This does not undercut this base. So this is now base 2. Although this is probably a much deeper base. Regardless, that could be considered a base. So you got, let's just say this is 1, 2. This is a base on base pattern. So from where we're at right now, 1, this is base 2, you're up 106%. And then obviously this thing goes a little bit more bonkers than that. So Yeah, I'm not advocating buying AMD right now. All I'm saying is that we're identifying a stock that has a chip better than Intel's right now, is selling like bonkers. I mean, Intel's bullish trajectory was 20 years, and AMD's market cap is minuscule compared to some of these other names. I mean, keep things in perspective. I don't want to talk myself into an AMD trade at the moment, but I mean, you could yield some good results in a best case scenario. AMD's market cap 100 billion. You look at Intel's market cap, and there's FinViz eating up all my memory. Double that, and it's not going to be on par with Nvidia, but Nvidia's 500. So you may be looking at a doubling from here and just getting to Intel. And so all I'm saying is that just keep your mind open. That's all I'm saying. So all good. All right. Yeah, Square's not looking bad. Looks like Tesla rebounded. Apple still 192. Team bounced back up 179. Atlassian's been not too bad. There's Trade Desk. Still chilling. Not bad. Has Amazon come back at all? It's been stable, kind of in the lower range of this base, this little consolidation. Not bad. That base looks a lot like the one on Trade Desk, like the one on Roku. So not a bad consolidation out of Amazon. 0.8 for the NASDAQ. And Tesla's back up to the middle range of the day for whatever that's worth. Probably not a whole lot. Netflix. Ooh, Netflix is starting to get a little froggy, ladies and gentlemen. That could be a trade. It does have earnings coming up in 6 days. That includes weekends. So about 4 trading days. Netflix today going higher. The volume doesn't look very impressive on the 15-minute, but we have these seemingly random super large spikes. So it's hard to get a real good beat on it. But there you go. If you're waiting for Netflix to go, it's time. Oh my gosh. Any of you guys ever watch like MMA stuff? The dude that, what's the announcer guy that says it's time and does all that stuff? Oh my god. He was in supercharged mode for that Poirier McGregor fight. I just YouTubed it because Gregor broke his leg. Must have been post fight he figured that out because I don't know. During the fight, I didn't see it. I didn't analyze the whole thing. But anyway, that dude was on crazy, crazy turbo. It was like painful watching him do his whole thing, holding those words for so long like it meant something or something. I don't know. All right, yeah. Netflix. Going, maybe gone. Big double bottom base here. I think this could be a base on base. Eh, it's a big something. But that is a big double bottom base on Netflix, so could start to go. And everything else just hanging out, but you got the NASDAQ chugging along. 0.8. Soxel still leading us here? No, GLBE takes charge, 5.6%. 3D Systems. This thing's pretty damn choppy, I gotta say. It is getting a little bit of support of the 50-day. Which one, Ellie? On Netflix? You talking about Netflix? What? So I don't understand what you like, bud. Yeah, 3D is hard to get a beat on it. It's really hard to get a beat on. But it is on the 50 day. So, and yeah, I agree it's not looking best, but I mean, this sell-off day right here has a pretty wide breadth and volume did increase a little bit. Didn't get to average volume though. From that regard, you could find some good support there at the 50. There's some traders that'll blindly buy that. Not that, you know, anybody has to, but that is a thing that people do. And now leading the bounce up today. QFin trying to bounce back. Kiwi. Haven't seen this name for a very long time and for very good reason. It looks like garbage. Doesn't look very good. Although it has been sideways here for a while, for whatever that's worth. I don't know if it's worth anything. I don't know. All right, we'll get off of Kiwi. All right, later, Ellie. Take it easy, bud. SNCR Skyworks. That does not qualify as a cup and handle, but it looks like one. I mean, it could if you consider all this prior uptrend, but it almost has a cup and handle right here that it breaks out and fails. Oh, maybe it's a base with a sideways base. Not even a, it's like a base. This is weird. It's like two cup and handles in a row with a fake out in the middle. With maybe a breakout today. That's interesting. That's interesting. A little more bullish over here than it was over here. See the moving averages. There's your 10-day being pretty vertical. There's your 20-day being pretty vertical. There's your 50-day a lot more flat because it had this extra time to consolidate. So over here they were all in a more upward trajectory seemingly. And then here, but see now we have really what's called separation. Usually separation is good, so I don't know, maybe this will actually end up doing something this time around. Definitely needs some volume. It's hard to say if we have it today. It does look like we do though. If you look at the daily volume, we are equal with yesterday's volume, only 45 minutes into the day. So, Skyworks may be back on the table. And Tesla appears to have popped up a little bit over half. Apple still 2%, not going away. Just hang out, Apple. We just close right here. Everyone just close the day right here. We'll be good to go. All right, net back down. Net still in this little sideways consolidation. Interesting. Volume dropped off pretty egregiously yesterday in kind of this really, really sideways base. Support of the 20 days so far. 10 days getting chopped up a little bit, but not really too bad. I don't think we've... Okay, there's one close yesterday under the 10-day moving average. This day didn't close. This day rallied all the way back up. So I think this name is doing what it's supposed to do. Hopefully it'll bounce up. I mean, our uptrend so far is intact. This NASDAQ is on another level. Very strong in that uptrend. Got a little too scared on that drop day right there. PayPal 1%, almost into new highs. ServiceNow. All right, ServiceNow with a double bottom base, living just underneath, and I do have a trade for this. I don't have a position though, nor do I have any real cash. Nor am I super enthusiastic about it. It's kind of a malaised uptrend, but it's still good. Still pretty good. Looking Goose, IIPR, Shopify. We've almost come full circle now. GLBE now leading with Moderna right behind it. That's kind of how we started the day. Soxel down a little bit from the highs, but looking like it's trying to go in the right direction. Good volume this morning on Soxel. And Twitter with a big double bottom base. We found this yesterday. It looks like it may want to try to break it. 3.32. This hasn't been on our list for a very long time, at least joining us towards the top of it. But maybe Twitter's finally figured out how to make some money out of tweets. Who the hell knows? And they killed earnings and then dropped like fucking 90% or whatever that is. That's a lot of percent. Beat earnings there. Beat earnings there. So they beat last three earnings estimates. They've actually been rewarded by that. On the earnings day, they're always gapping down, gapping up. Always a big gap on earnings. Earnings are coming up next 7/22. So caution into that one. I think the rain stopped here in Phoenix. But that's not bad. Ooh, Crocs. New high. New high for Crocs. Lululemon. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's the day you need. That's gonna hopefully get us over that high. That was a trade I really liked. I didn't take. Yeah, it wasn't good percentage on it apparently, but 446. Even for 446 targeted, only 145%, so I kind of let this one go. But Lululemon broke the long-term turnaround line and is on its way. So there's that right there, that 446. I guess it says 464, but somehow I find a bit of a lower level for it, which is fine. All right, so we had the gap up, and so far we haven't really rallied substantially, not in the names that we've been looking at a little more closely, but good days overall. Oh, Amazon joining us back up. Nope, not really. 0.46 looks like it's kind of where we've been here all day. Yesterday with a pretty large sell-off. Lots of selling pressure there. Just profit taking probably. I don't, you never know why, but and Tesla, I guess flat for them is at the low of the day. That's not Tesla. Yeah, flat's in that middle of the range today. Really not showing you anything. Fortunately, not dropping. NASDAQ 0.73, almost right back to the open. So we have kind of come full circle in the opening 50 minutes. Can't be too mad. Can't be too mad. I think I'm going to bounce in a little bit, guys. Markets are somewhat stable. I guess Powell's already spoke. I thought he was speaking later today, but I guess not. So AMC to the downside. FLGT all the way back down from the pop. That's no bueno. Sell H. Well, I think I didn't jump back into that one. Getting whipsawed right now. Beyond Meat, space, dropping like a stone, short that bitch. Stupid stock. Nvidia. Down 0.5%. Nice little consolidation. I think this is somewhat buyable. We're not even dropping. it's just sideways. Nvidia could be ready for the next leg. What does that look like? All right, let's do this, and I gotta go get my kid ready for school program today. Maybe we kind of get 2 measured moves out of this. Maybe. Let's just say that's up to 950. Yeah, that could be the target with this one. We're pretty close to 1,000 at this stage. Could do a whole Tesla, then stall out at 9. But let's take a look at Nvidia. It'd be fun for a short-term options play. Continuation of said rally. Just go 900. And if you go 23 days, well, you could get a couple 100%. Your pain point here, though, is we do a larger basing. And you got the 4-to-1 stock split coming up, so that's going to keep me out of any kind of trade like that. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to get out of here, guys. Market 0.65. We're just hanging out at the moment. A couple things moved up a little bit. Apple's moved up a little bit. Now it's pulling back a little bit. We had Soxel kind of starting us off with a good day today. Looks like it's backed away also. Got a little overheated this morning, maybe. Nowhere left to go. It's possible. It's possible. So mind your P's and Q's and don't let the market shake you out for what on the daily is a nothing move. So far, things are looking great. I think we need a day where nothing is going on to rally. A couple days after something and nothing happens, then it just starts to go. I think that's what we need. All right, everyone, I'm out of here. You guys have a good one.